Thanks. Several years ago, I was in a private practice of law, and I had an initial meeting with a potential new client. The meeting went really well. They wanted to hire me. And the first project was going to be to do some simple terms of use and a privacy policy for a website. I gave him an estimate, and the president of the company made a little joke. He said, I know that all lawyers use the same base document and just change the company names. Or at least you can produce these documents with one push of a button. Now, we laughed, but I still felt the need to say something about even basic documents have nuance. So I gave some thought to, but I thought a lot about what the client had to say. And the question that came back to me was, if clients assume we can use technology in this way, and technically we can, why aren't we? I mean, I first used document assembly 20 years ago, so the question is not about technology, it's really about the business model. My favorite way to think about innovation is to reverse my assumptions. So recently I was listening to a podcast with William Ury, who wrote a great book on negotiation. And he said to change the game, you need to change the frame. So my reversal, as I thought about this, was to say, what would happen if we actually did give basic documents away for free, maybe as part of a service? I didn't get very far with that, but in 2009, I read a book by Wired Magazine's Chris Anderson, who talked about this notion of successful businesses giving away core services and products for free and then making money by surrounding other revenue opportunities around that freedom. The first example he gave was Monty Python, who found one day that thousands of people had put video clips from their shows and movies onto YouTube for free. So what they did was they created their own YouTube channel and made high-quality clips available and asked people to buy their own services. 23,000% increase in sales almost immediately. So that's the notion of freemium. So this is going to be tricky because there's no way I can finish this and reading this in 20 seconds. But you get the idea of my notion, where we're going to use the idea of free to enable customers to make better choices and to willingly spend money. You're going to hear a lot of talk at Tech Show about custom versus commoditization and Richard Susskind. I think what's interesting is freemium can apply in both models. A couple of examples: open source and the Creative Commons licenses. Here, you're using ways that you give away software or the legal licensing around software for free, and then making money in other ways. So a company like Red Hat can sell maintenance, support, services, even T-shirts, and still give the software away for free. Stuart Brand has famously said, information wants to be free. And so we live in a world where we expect to get music, video, other information for free. What is the implication of that for lawyers? My favorite new band is Grace Potter and the Nocturnals. I wouldn't have even known about them, except that they're a band that allows people to put recordings of their concerts on the internet for free. Now, as a result, I have bought their CDs, and I'll go to a show in a second. So bands are now in the area of music service providers, where they give away music and make money off of concerts, T-shirts, other things. So is law more like music, newspapers, or other ways where the internet has changed the basic business model? And can freemium have an impact in the practice of law? So I look at what do clients really want to buy. So when I did estate planning, I decided that clients really didn't want to buy documents or hours. That when they bought a will, what they wanted was peace of mind, confidence that their family was going to be taken care of when they were gone. And I think that whether it's risk management or judgment, that's really what clients want. And if you can frame things in those ways, clients are going to be happy to pay for that. So that's the big disconnect. Lawyers think in lawyer-centric ways in terms of hours, in terms of things like that, and people want something that gives them more confidence they're willing to pay for. So a few ideas. The Chris Anderson book, Free, has lots of great freemium ideas that can be applied to the practice of law. Here's mine for you. Movement from highlights to insights to personalized. Highlights would be a free newsletter with case summaries by associates. The Insights would be videos from partners explaining the specific details of why those cases mattered. And the personalized would be custom half-day presentations particularized to a client. Barriers to this, yeah, we haven't done it before. There are going to be 20th century ethical rules that are applied to a 21st century business model that don't recognize client needs. The technology to make this work, I think, is actually quite simple. Document assembly has been around for a long time. Even second graders can make professional quality videos these days. Lots of information can be delivered to people free over the internet. Where do you get ideas? I get ideas on innovative things by buying them at home and a cup of coffee, but I think there's a lot of ways out there, so I think you want to talk to young people, take diversified approaches, see what's going on in other industries. Ultimately, I think you need a portfolio approach to all innovation, and freemium is potentially one part of it. As we go forward, I think you want to have a diversified approach to potential revenue, and having this movement from free services or free products to freemium is a great way to go, an essential part of a portfolio. Let me end with 3 action steps. First, read the Chris Anderson book free, or even better yet, get the free version, audio version off of iTunes. Second, commit to brainstorm to come up with ways that you might use freemium, including, and start with things where you already write off fees or heavily discount in the first place. And finally, I think you want to change your frame and see if it changes your game.